welcome to Animal Nonsense. I'm Jess.
I'm David.
If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been listening to us already, then welcome back. You can follow us on social media at Animal Nonsense Pod on Facebook and Instagram. And you can email us at...
This is the one I find really hard.
Oh, the pressure!
This is the one I find really hard to remember. Our email address is animalnonsensepodcast@gmail.com.
Perfect. Feel free to get in touch with us, message us. That'd be lovely. And you can follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And yeah, if anyone wants to leave a review, that would be nice.
Like, I would really love to hear from people as long as it's a genuine message. I don't want like a load of like SEO optimization.
Oh my God, that's so true. Because it will be deleted.
Because the email address, we're new and starting to get one or two responses.
We are building up, yeah.
But every like pointless company is emailing it. I don't know how that's even happened.
I know. Oh, well.
But so if you're one of them, drop off.
If you're one of them, don't. But if you have like a funny animal story, or you want to comment on something you've heard, or maybe you have a suggestion of an animal that we could cover, then please do say hi. The name of this animal is honestly one of the best names I have ever heard of any creature. This is the Immortal Jellyfish. And its life cycle is insane. Right, so buckle up. Its proper name is Pteridopsis dornii. This is a teeny tiny little jellyfish, which is smaller than your little fingernail. It was first discovered in 1883. Okay, but then this crazy life cycle that I'm about to tell you about wasn't discovered until almost accidentally 100 years later. So quite recent. To preface this, I feel like I need to walk you through the life cycle of a regular jellyfish because it goes through various different phases. Okay, so we start off with sperm and eggs being released into the water in that kind of hidden hope strategy that a lot of marine animals seem to go for. So that's all released, and then if the eggs get fertilised, they then turn into larvae. Larva or larvae? I don't know, one of the two. So anyway, the jellyfish is now a larva. It will find a suitable hard surface. That might be a rock. That might be like the hull of a boat maybe. And it will attach itself there. And at this point, the larva then becomes a polyp, which is kind of like a bit like a sea anemone. Can you picture it? Like something that's attached, kind of jellyish attached thing, a bit like a sea anemone. And then it can clone itself as a polyp. So you might start with one polyp on the hull of your boat. And then the next day you've got like a whole cluster of polyps there. So when it's a polyp, it grows, and then the polyp will form buds, and it's these little buds that will break off and then turn into the adult form of a jellyfish, which is what we all think of as a jellyfish. The parachute with all the tentacles coming down. So where the immortal jellyfish is very unique is that if the jellyfish is stressed or injured or food is scarce, they appear to die. So they kind of reabsorb their tentacles. They lose the ability to swim. They just turn into a lifeless blob, which is kind of how I felt in New Year, and sink down to the bottom of the sea. And then there, they return to their polyp state. They go back a life stage. It's almost like a butterfly becoming a caterpillar again.
Right, it's almost like a pundit on Match of the Day becoming in the Premier League again and going on the pitch.
Yeah. They can just repeat this cycle, reverting back to a polyp and then becoming a medusa again and then back to a polyp. It's a process called cellular transdifferentiation. And in theory, they can do this just over again and again and again, indefinitely, until something eats them. This ability was discovered when some students were studying these jellyfish. So you've got like a jar of jellyfish. The jellyfish appeared to have died. But then the students didn't dispose of them straight away.
Right, it's like a student house and everything's just lying around.
And then they were surprised to find polyps there, which didn't make any sense because they hadn't matured enough to reach the spawning stage. There were no larvae. So like, where is the polyp coming from? And they go watch them and they saw this process happening.
If like one of their mums had come round to visit them, she might have just thrown out the jellyfish and no one would ever have known.
What's this old jar?
Right, you want to sort this out.
Now, apparently, they're very sensitive. They're difficult creatures to keep in a lab. So we don't know exactly how many times they can repeat this cycle. But there was a Japanese scientist called Shin Kubota who was able to maintain several colonies for 2 years and study them. And these colonies, they regenerated themselves up to 10 times. They're thought to have originated in the Mediterranean Sea, but they're now like all across the world. There's a theory that their spread might be partly due to ballast water on ships. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so imagine you've got like a massive ship, like a cargo ship or a cruise ship or something, and your cargo ship loads up with loads of really heavy cargo. The weight of the cargo kind of stabilizes it, stops it rocking around too much. And then your ship goes off, delivers its cargo, then becomes really light and quite unstable. So then you fill the ship up. It's got like water chambers within it with ballast water. So just like seawater. So it will take in a load of seawater. And then when it moves off, goes somewhere else, gets another cargo, they'll release that water so that it's always kind of weighed down, which makes a lot of sense. And they think because they can basically kind of die and then just regenerate, they can survive just being in a ballast tank for a while, you know.
One thing that reminds me of, do you know the animal-related rumour about the postal service? That snails eat the glue on the envelopes and on the stamps. And sometimes if you get an envelope that's really fallen apart, it's because snails is really tasty for them. And there have been post boxes that the Royal Mail, that they continue to operate, but they put a warning on. This happens quite a lot in rural areas because it's hell to get snails out of a post box once they're in.
Yeah, because I imagine they lay eggs, tiny eggs that you can't really see, and then you get little snails, baby snails, and they grow quickly.
And the Royal Mail has a policy of not putting pellets down.
Yeah, that's nice.
But then they do, there's like a plaque on certain rural post boxes that will say, we are not closing this post box, it will still be in operation.
But there is a snail infestation.
We are not able to guarantee that the envelope won't be completely dismantled by snails.
Do they not leave your mail quite gooky? Because they poo a lot of snails, don't they?
Quite often if you get post and it's marked.
Is that what it is? It's snail poo?
But there's literally a post that says, we are not able to guarantee that your envelope will not completely disintegrate and it will never arrive at its destination. But please feel free to use our post box.
How strange. I did not know that. Tenuous. I don't know how you got there from jellyfish. But
just the idea of the jellyfish hanging around in this boat chamber.
Ah, okay.
And like being there potentially for ages.
Yes.
Like snails can take over a post box for generations and generations.
Yeah, and lay eggs in all the little crevices. Jellyfish, they're like interesting animals because they don't have a brain. They don't have a central nervous system. They're kind of just like a blob of, like they have an instinct to feed, obviously, and an instinct to defend themselves. I remember there's someone I follow on Instagram who keeps all kinds of weird and wonderful like crabs and shrimps and stuff. And she had like a jellyfish tank. It's empty. You don't keep anything else in there. So there's no like plants or sand or anything. But it's got a current because they need to be in kind of moving water. So they just sit there. It's got a light. So it's almost like a disco tank to light up the jellyfish because they look so pretty when they're illuminated. And then it just kind of bimbles around and gets swirled about in the water.
Is that the like official name for how they move?
What, bimble around?
Like, no, seriously, like, does a jellyfish bimble? I really hope it is. Can we make it so? If it's not. So when you and I get ready to do our episodes,
yes,
the way we organise it is you do an episode and then I do the next episode.
Yes.
It's always a really exciting moment the night before because I'm researching away and I'm coming up with stuff. And last night I had my first animal nonsense related dream.
Did you? Okay.
And so I was in a pub.
Yeah.
A real one that I know.
Yeah.
And Gromit from the dog from Wallace and Gromit was in there.
Yeah.
And he was sat at a table.
Was it human-sized? A human-sized plasticine dog?
Yeah, human-sized. And no one else was recognising him. And
he was incognito.
And I went over being like you would a famous person.
Did you ask for his autograph?
Well, I was like, look, I'm really sorry, but you're Gromit. And
He's not here. You can say his name.
and I was, but I didn't want to cause everyone to look round.
Yeah.
And so I went over, and he was like, "Oh no, that's all right. Please sit down." And I was like, "What the? You can talk?" Because
because he never talks.
And he was like, "Oh yeah," and I said, "But that's really amazing." I was like, "You don't talk?" And he's like, "Well, what will I do?" And he goes,
What if he sounded like Scooby-Doo? Well, that's really amazing.
"No." And I said, "Well, that's really amazing." I go, "You can talk." And he goes, "Well, is that of interest to people?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, no one knew Gromit could talk. That was amazing." And then I thought, like, always working. And I was like, I do a podcast, Animal Nonsense, and I reckon, look, if you wanted to come in and have a chat, making like the verbal part important for him, I was like, it would be really nice. And he's like, well, all right, well, where do I do? And I go, well, we're going to record it, the end of the weekend. Why don't you come along? Right, so he comes in the room, and I've warned you now. So now I'm messaging you.
Yeah.
Like, look, I've got someone extra coming. I better warn you because I don't want you to be starstruck.
Okay.
And I'm like, right, Gromit's coming. You're like, what? You're like, Gromit's coming. And you were like, well, he doesn't talk. I was like, look, don't worry about that. I've got that sorted. Right, so he comes in. So we're in this room where we record it.
Yeah.
And we have to, because normally we sit opposite one another.
Yeah.
But I'm sat like next to you. So we're sharing one microphone.
Yeah.
And he walks in, and there's real excitement in the room. Like, it's not every day Gromit comes walking in to record. And he walks in and he kind of waves quite friendly. And then he sits there and he doesn't talk. And I was like, right, remember that thing, Gromit, where you were, talking away? And he was like and then he just...
Does he do anything dog-like? Like, does he...
No, he
sniff your crotch or like pee on the floor or anything?
Because he's quite like human. And then he was sat there and I was like, hey, so Gromit, have you had a nice morning? And nothing, not a dicky bird, he won't talk.
Oh, no.
And then you got really annoyed at me. Because you're like, we're trying to record and you brought in a silent dog. It's like, he wouldn't even bark or do anything.
You had an anxiety dream.
I really let you down.